I stood in front of my entire family, holding the envelope that would change my life. I was about to announce the biggest achievement of my career, a promotion I'd worked 5 years to earn. My hands were shaking. My heart was racing. This was my moment. Then my cousin stood up, grabbed a pitcher of iced tea, and poured it all over my head. Everyone gasped. I stood there, soaking wet, humiliated, while she laughed and said, "Oops." My hand slipped. But her hand didn't slip. And what I did next destroyed her in ways she never saw coming. My name is Ashley Morgan, and I'm 33 years old. I live in Jacksonville, Florida, and I work as a senior marketing director for a national retail company. I've spent the last 5 years climbing the corporate ladder, working 60-hour weeks, sacrificing weekends and holidays, all to prove myself. And it finally paid off. 3 weeks ago, my boss offered me a vice president position. It came with a massive salary increase, a corner office, and the recognition I'd been fighting for my entire career. I was over the moon. I wanted to share the news with my family in a special way. So I planned to announce it at our annual family picnic, a tradition we'd had for over 20 years. But there was one problem. My cousin, Brianna. Brianna is 35, 2 years older than me, and she's hated me for as long as I can remember. Growing up, we were constantly compared. Same age range, same family, completely different paths. I went to college. She didn't. I built a career. She bounced between jobs. I worked hard. She made excuses. And she resented me for it. Our family always treated me like the success story. "Why can't you be more like Ashley?" her parents would say. "Ashley's doing so well. Ashley's so driven." I never asked for that comparison. I never threw my success in her face. But it didn't matter. Brianna blamed me for every failure in her life. She told people I was spoiled, that I'd had things handed to me, that I didn't deserve my success. None of it was true. But she believed it. And she made sure everyone around her believed it too. Over the years, Brianna had done small things to undermine me. She'd accidentally spill wine on my new dress at family dinners. She'd interrupt me whenever I tried to share good news. She'd make snide comments disguised as jokes. "Oh, Ashley got another promotion? Must be nice to have connections," she'd say, smirking. I ignored it. I told myself she was jealous, that she'd grow out of it, that being the bigger person was the right thing to do. I was wrong. The annual family picnic was scheduled for a Saturday in late June. My parents reserved a pavilion at a local park. About 40 family members were invited: aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, everyone. I decided this would be the perfect setting to announce my promotion. I even had a small speech prepared. I wanted to thank my family for their support, share my excitement, and celebrate this milestone with the people I loved. I told my mom about my plan. She was thrilled. "That's wonderful, honey. We'll make sure everyone's gathered so you can make your announcement." I didn't tell Brianna. I didn't want to give her a chance to ruin it. But somehow, she found out anyway. The day of the picnic, I arrived early to help set up. Brianna was already there, sitting at a picnic table, scrolling through her phone. She looked up when I walked over. "Hey, Ashley," she said, her tone fake sweet. "I heard you're making some big announcement today." My stomach dropped. "Who told you?" She shrugged. "Does it matter? I just think it's interesting. You always need to be the center of attention, don't you?" "That's not what this is," I said. "Sure it's not," she said, standing up. "Well, enjoy your moment. I'm sure it'll be very memorable." Something about the way she said it made my skin crawl. But I pushed the feeling aside and focused on setting up. The picnic started around noon. People arrived in waves: my parents, my siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, kids running around everywhere. The weather was perfect. The food was great. Everyone was in a good mood. I waited until after lunch to make my announcement. My mom gathered everyone around, clinking a glass to get their attention. "Ashley has something she'd like to share with everyone," my mom said, beaming with pride. I stood up, holding the envelope from my company, the official offer letter for my vice president position. My hands were shaking, but I was smiling. "Thank you all for being here," I began. "I wanted to share some exciting news with you. After 5 years of hard work, I've been promoted to vice president of marketing at my company. This is the biggest achievement of my career, and I wanted to celebrate it with the people who've supported me." A few people started clapping. My dad stood up, looking proud. My mom had tears in her eyes. Then Brianna stood up. She was holding a pitcher of iced tea, and she was walking toward me. "Brianna, what are you?" I started. Before I could finish, she lifted the pitcher and poured the entire thing over my head. Cold liquid drenched me. It soaked my hair, my clothes, my shoes. The envelope in my hand was ruined. I stood there, frozen, gasping from the shock. Everyone stared in stunned silence. Brianna set the empty pitcher down and smiled. "Oops." My hand slipped. "What the hell is wrong with you?" my brother shouted. Brianna shrugged. "It was an accident." "Relax." "That wasn't an accident," my mom said, her voice shaking with anger. "Brianna, apologize right now," my aunt demanded. Brianna rolled her eyes. "Oh, come on. It's just iced tea. Ashley can handle it. She's so perfect, right?" I stood there, dripping wet, humiliated, trying not to cry in front of everyone. My big moment, the moment I'd been planning for weeks, was destroyed. Brianna looked at me, her expression cold and satisfied. "Sorry, Ashley. Didn't mean to steal your thunder." Then she walked away. My mom rushed over with napkins. My dad was furious. My siblings were yelling at Brianna. But the damage was done. I excused myself and went to my car. I sat in the driver's seat, soaking wet, staring at the ruined envelope, and cried. Not because of the iced tea. Not because my clothes were ruined. But because my cousin had humiliated me in front of my entire family. And she'd done it on purpose. After a few minutes, I wiped my tears and made a decision. I wasn't going to let this go. I wasn't going to be the bigger person this time. Brianna had crossed a line, and I was going to make sure she regretted it. I pulled out my phone and started making calls. The first call I made was to my uncle, Brianna's father. He was a reasonable man, and I knew he'd be horrified by what his daughter had done. "Uncle Mike, it's Ashley. I need to talk to you about what happened today." "I know, sweetheart," he said, his voice heavy. "I'm so sorry." Brianna's behavior was unacceptable. "It wasn't just unacceptable," I said. "It was deliberate. She's been undermining me for years, and today she humiliated me in front of everyone." "I'll talk to her," he said. "Talking won't fix this," I said. "But I think there's something you should know." I paused, choosing my words carefully. "Brianna has been telling people that I've had everything handed to me, that I don't deserve my success. But the truth is, I've worked for everything I have. And I think it's time the family knew the truth about her." "What do you mean?" Uncle Mike asked. "I mean, she's been lying about her own life. And I have proof. Over the past few years, I'd heard rumors about Brianna. That she'd been fired from multiple jobs for poor performance. That she'd borrowed money from family members and never paid it back. That she'd lied about having a stable career. I'd never confronted her about it. But I'd kept track. And now I was going to use it. I spent the next 2 days gathering information. I reached out to mutual acquaintances. I pulled up public records. I found evidence of unpaid debts, failed business ventures, and a pattern of dishonesty. And then I planned my next move. I wasn't going to humiliate Brianna publicly the way she'd humiliated me. I was going to do something far more effective. I was going to tell the truth. In front of everyone. With evidence to back it up. A week later, my family held another gathering, this time at my parents' house for my grandmother's birthday. Everyone who'd been at the picnic was there, including Brianna. She walked in looking smug, like she'd already won. She barely acknowledged me. But I wasn't worried. Because I'd spent the past week preparing. And tonight, everything was going to come out. Dinner was served. People ate, talked, laughed. Brianna sat at the far end of the table, acting like nothing had happened. After dessert, my dad stood up to give a toast to my grandmother. Everyone raised their glasses. Then I stood up. "Before we finish, I'd like to say something," I said. The room went quiet. Brianna looked at me, her expression wary. "Last week, at the family picnic, something happened that I can't ignore," I began. Brianna poured iced tea on me in the middle of my announcement. She claimed it was an accident. But we all know it wasn't. A few people shifted uncomfortably. Brianna's face flushed. "I've spent years trying to understand why Brianna resents me," I continued. "And I've come to realize it's because she's been lying to all of you." Brianna's eyes widened. "What are you talking about?" "I'm talking about the fact that you've been telling people I've had everything handed to me, that I don't deserve my success. But the truth is, you've been lying about your own life for years." I pulled out a folder of documents and set it on the table. Brianna told everyone she's been working as a marketing consultant. But the truth is, she was fired from her last 3 jobs for poor performance and attendance issues. Brianna stood up. "That's not true." "It is true," I said, opening the folder. "I have termination letters, references, performance reviews." I pulled out the first document. "This is from your last employer. You were fired for repeatedly missing deadlines and failing to show up to client meetings." Brianna's face went pale. "And this," I said, pulling out another document, "is a loan agreement you signed with Aunt Carol. You borrowed $5,000 2 years ago and never paid it back." My Aunt Carol gasped. "I thought you said you'd paid me back." "I was going to," Brianna stammered. "No, you weren't," I said. "Because you've borrowed money from 3 other family members and haven't paid any of them back either." I laid out more documents, loan agreements, unpaid credit card bills, records of failed business ventures. "You've been telling everyone that I'm the spoiled one, that I've had things easy. But the truth is, you've been leeching off this family for years while lying about your own failures." Brianna's eyes filled with tears. "You have no right." "I have every right," I said, my voice firm. "You humiliated me in front of everyone. You tried to ruin the most important moment of my career. And I'm done letting you get away with it." The room was silent. Everyone stared at Brianna, waiting for her to respond. She opened her mouth, then closed it. She looked around the room, searching for support, but no one said anything. "I can't believe you did this," Brianna finally said, her voice shaking. "I can't believe you thought you'd get away with it," I replied. Brianna grabbed her purse and stormed out of the house. Her parents followed, looking devastated. The rest of the family sat in stunned silence. My dad cleared his throat. "Ashley, I had no idea." "None of us did," my mom said quietly. "I didn't want to do this," I said. But she left me no choice. After Brianna left, the energy in the room shifted. Some family members looked uncomfortable. Others looked angry, not at me, but at Brianna. My Aunt Carol came up to me, tears in her eyes. "I had no idea she hadn't paid you back either. She told me she was going through a rough time and needed help." I believed her. "She lied to all of us," I said. "And I'm sorry you had to find out this way." "Don't apologize," Aunt Carol said. "You did the right thing." My Uncle Mike called me the next day. He was devastated. "Ashley, I'm so sorry for what Brianna did. I had no idea she was lying about so many things." "I didn't want to hurt you," I said. "But she crossed a line." "I know," he said. "And she needs to face the consequences." Over the next few days, the truth spread through the family. People started coming forward with their own stories about Brianna, times she'd lied, borrowed money, or manipulated situations to make herself look better. It turned out I wasn't the only one she'd been using. Brianna's parents cut her off financially. They told her she needed to get her life together and start taking responsibility for her actions. Brianna tried to reach out to me once. She sent a text, "I hope you're happy. You ruined my life." I didn't respond, because I hadn't ruined her life. She'd done that herself. It's been 3 months since that dinner. 3 months since I exposed Brianna. 3 months since I finally stood up for myself. And I don't regret it. Brianna hasn't spoken to me since. She's avoided all family gatherings. Her parents say she's working on herself, trying to rebuild her life. I hope that's true. I don't hate her. But I also don't feel guilty about what I did. Because for years, I let Brianna undermine me. I let her make me feel small. I let her take away my moments of joy. But at that picnic, when she poured iced tea on my head, something inside me snapped. I realized I didn't have to take it anymore. I didn't have to be the bigger person. I didn't have to protect someone who was actively trying to destroy me. So I fought back. Not with cruelty. Not with revenge for the sake of revenge. But with the truth. And the truth was powerful enough to change everything. My promotion is going well. I've been in my new role for 3 months now, and I love it. The work is challenging, but I feel valued and respected. My family has been more supportive than ever. They've apologized for not seeing what Brianna was doing sooner. They've made an effort to celebrate my achievements without comparing me to anyone else. And I've learned something important. You don't owe loyalty to people who tear you down. Family or not, toxic people will drain you. They'll take your joy, your confidence, your peace. And if you let them, they'll do it for years. But you don't have to let them. You have the right to stand up for yourself. To protect your happiness. To demand respect. And if that means cutting ties, exposing lies, or walking away, then that's what you do. A few weeks ago, I ran into one of Brianna's friends at a coffee shop. She looked uncomfortable when she saw me. "Hey, Ashley," she said. "I just wanted to say, I think what you did was brave. Brianna's been lying to me too. And I didn't realize it until after everything came out." "I'm sorry you went through that," I said. "Don't be," she said. "You opened my eyes." I ended our friendship because I realized she was using me too. I nodded. "That's hard. But sometimes it's necessary." She smiled. "Yeah, it is." That conversation stuck with me. Because it reminded me that standing up for yourself doesn't just protect you, it can inspire others to do the same. Last week, I got a message from Brianna. It was the first time she'd reached out since that night. "Ashley, I know you probably don't want to hear from me. But I need to say this. I'm sorry. I was jealous. I was bitter. And I took it out on you. You didn't deserve that." I read the message 3 times. Part of me wanted to ignore it. Part of me wanted to tell her it was too little, too late. But another part of me, the part that's been healing over the past few months, knew that holding on to anger wouldn't help me. So I responded. "I appreciate the apology. I hope you're working on yourself. But I need space. Maybe one day we can rebuild some kind of relationship. But not now." She replied, "I understand. Take care of yourself." And that was it. I don't know if Brianna will actually change. I don't know if she'll ever take real responsibility for her actions. But that's not my problem anymore. I've moved on. And I'm not looking back. If you're reading this and someone in your life has been tearing you down, whether it's a family member, a friend, a coworker, know this. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to be the bigger person if it means sacrificing your dignity. You don't have to protect people who hurt you. Standing up for yourself isn't mean. It's not petty. It's necessary. For years, I believed that staying quiet was the right thing to do. That exposing Brianna would make me just as bad as her. But I was wrong. Staying quiet didn't protect me. It just gave her more power. And when I finally spoke up, when I finally told the truth, I took that power back. I'm not saying everyone needs to publicly expose their toxic family members. That's not always the right move. But you do need to protect yourself. You need to set boundaries. You need to say enough. Because you deserve to be treated with respect. You deserve to have your achievements celebrated. You deserve to live without someone constantly trying to tear you down. And if standing up for yourself means losing a relationship, then maybe that relationship wasn't worth keeping. Today, I'm happier than I've been in years. I love my job. I love my life. I'm surrounded by people who genuinely support me. And I'm no longer carrying the weight of Brianna's resentment. That day at the picnic, when she poured iced tea on my head, she thought she'd won. She thought she'd humiliated me beyond repair. But all she did was push me to finally stand up for myself. And in the end, the truth was more powerful than any petty act of sabotage. If this story resonated with you, drop a comment below. Share your experiences. Let's support each other. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories about standing up, speaking out, and taking back your power. Because you deserve to be seen. You deserve to be heard. And you deserve to win. Thanks for listening.